It's now 6:30. Called the time for the start of the hearing for the budget. I think before we start, so I'll call roll here for the members.
Randy?
Here.
Lori? Here. Steve?
Here.
Aaron's present. Bill Thomas is absent.
James.
Jamie Clark is absent.
Okay. First name I have on the...
Can't hear you.
First name I have on the list for speaking is John Kraft.
That would be me.
Oh, this is strictly about the budget.
That's right, it is.
Okay.
So, is there any place in the budget for environmental cleanup? I couldn't find it.
Can you be more specific about environmental cleanup?
Well, if you go outside the restaurant out back and look down in that hole, you'll see an environmental hazard created by the restaurant that you're going to have to clean up. So you should budget money to clean that up because you're either going to clean it up or somebody's going to make you clean it up.
We will make a note of that for the grill budget.
This is a budget about the library and the museum. The ordinance.
Isn't the grill part of the library?
Yes.
It is an entity of, but this, all of the, I mean, for the most part, most of the funds don't pay the expenses for that restaurant.
It's all in the library. This isn't the complete budget.
This is the budget for the ordinance that collects the taxes.
So you're not going to spend any of this money.
I didn't say that. I said for the most part.
Are you asking the board or are you asking an employee of the board?
So that's a good question. So is there an environmental cleanup budget? And what about money you're going to expend on the restaurant? Because apparently it's not here.
We have a building and grounds line item in the budget ordinance that takes care of building and grounds maintenance. When it comes time in the meeting to look at the Palms Grill report, you will see the income and expenses of the grill, and that's where that would show up. Okay, it's not in this ordinance.
It'll show up in the building. What item number on the budget?
20. Building costs, we have building and maintenance, $3,400, groundskeeping $2,000, and then cleaning service $3,000.
So this is what takes care of the restaurant.
No. Well, it takes care of all buildings, yes, but the grill pays for that. Yes. It is not out of this
Well, all
money.
the grill money is part of the library.
No. Yes, but it is not part of this money. Because this is just what's
This
levied
is
by
just
the
the
tax.
ordinance for the tax money that we spend, and we do not spend tax money on the grill.
Annual budget and
So-
appropriations ordinance.
Right. This is an appropriation of our tax revenue.
Okay. Next question. Only $1,800 for legal expenses? You might want to put a couple zeros after that.
Well, you know what, like everything in a budget, this is meant to be a guideline, and as we go through the year, we evaluate performance against our expectations, and if we have to make adjustments in the budget, then we do so.
You're going to burn that up in the next 60 days.
Before this year, we didn't have an expense.
And I think
Well,
if you'll
before
recall,
this year,
this is
nobody knew there
this
was
is
a
a time
conflict
for
of interest.
questions, not comments.
Excuse me? Didn't hear that.
A hearing requires answers to questions.
We are answering questions.
And so what did you just say?
This is a time for questions, not comments.
Yeah, I mean, when the time comes, we have not yet exceeded that line item in the budget. If and when that time should come, we will revisit the
Right, he
expenditure.
just said that this is the first year that that you had to put legal expenses on at that expense.
No,
No.
it's not.
You were saying that you thought we were going to have to put another 0 on there.
I said 2 0. Yeah,
Well,
that's fine.
or 3 or 4, whatever you want to come up with. What I'm saying is, we had not spent more than 1,800 in the past.
Right, and my comment to your comment to that question is, nobody knew that you had a trustee involved in a conflict of interest and potential violations of the Public Officer Prohibited Activities Act, and an attorney giving horrible advice that you need to find another attorney and you won't get it for $1,800.
And we have not been notified of any action to either affirm or deny that accusation. And so if
Well,
and
you gotta
when that
read-
happens, then we'll make the
All you
right
have to read
adjustments.
the law. That's,
You have more questions?
these salaries, and the salaries include do the salaries include the pay for the people who work in the restaurant?
No,
Why not?
because they are not paid with money levied from this tax.
All right.
Next is Kirk Allen.
On the second page, got listed for construction and loan repayment, $13,900. Three loan documents were never on the agenda to be approved. So why do we have a construction loan obligation?
I can't answer that if they've never been approved. I mean, we have a construction loan that we've had for years, even prior to the renovation of the library. We consolidated those loans, did all the paperwork for that, and this is the annual payment to pay back for the renovation of the library.
Okay. In regards to that, item number 15, recognizing, I'm sure that all of you understand your fiduciary responsibilities. In this public hearing, I'm pointing out that there is no paperwork or agenda that has ever approved those loans. There's minutes that say it was approved, but it's never been on an agenda. And I would hope you would exercise your fiduciary authority and seek out information from your state's attorney and ask them, or your attorney, how do we pay a loan that's never been legally authorized? The other issue that is very concerning down at the very bottom, for audit purposes, contractual services for audit. I don't know if there's any auditors or CPAs. There's a CPA here. $500 for an audit is impossible for a local public audit.
This line item covers what we pay the person.
Why can't the board members answer the question instead of an employee?
No, you're a board member.
No, she's not.
I'm
She's
not-
a librarian.
Good call.
I will admit that is a good call. The budget hearing is to address the board. Who are the board members? Okay. The contractual service for an audit, is that $500 for an audit?
No.
What is it for?
It is the money that goes to pay the person to file the annual financial report with the state. We are not required to do an audit, and that an audit is done at the board's discretion. It's when we file our annual reports that serves as our audit.
Okay.
Unless,
And for the last 2 years, we have not actually spent that money.
Okay. In regards to that line item, for the 500, I understand the AFR is very well, and I agree. If you're not above that 850,000 threshold, you can file
Right.
with a CPA.
correct.
They've been filed, and I pointed out before, there's information that is wrong, blatantly wrong on those filings. So whoever's filing has filed false information on your comptroller report. I would encourage,
We are currently reviewing that process.
I hear you, but I would encourage,
And if anything, we thank you for bringing all of those mistakes to our attention.
I would like the board and the director to interact
Rachel and I are both directors.
Oh, really? That's good. How did you become director?
The board hired me.
Okay, we'll get to that one in a little bit. I would encourage more than $500 in that regard. On page 3, this is the new and domain tax for Social Security purposes. Now, you can have an IMRF tax levy, you can have property tax levy. I'm not familiar with any tax for Social Security.
This is our share of what we pay for FICA.
Okay, so this isn't proposing a part of a levy for.
No,
Okay, just want to make sure on that because it's listed as a tax for Social Security with some of the other ones that are part of the levy, and I just want to clarify that that was not going to be a levy issue. That's all I have on your budget. Thank you.
thank you.
Next is Larry Brandt.
No questions.
And next is Marilyn Horton.
No question for fun.
I would like to just draw your attention to one line item in the ordinance, just for clarification of our discussions over the last 3 months about the budget and maintenance tax levy that has caused so much confusion. As you know, at our special meeting, we rescinded that ordinance. And so if you were looking back at packets at earlier meetings and you saw this ordinance, you would have seen on pages 2 and 3 also a line that says for building and maintenance fund purposes, $8,000. All right, you would have seen that in here had we not rescinded that ordinance. If you go down into section 2 on page 3, you'll see tax for general corporate library purposes. In the original ordinance, that number was $130,000 and $138,200. So what happened as a result of rescinding that ordinance is the line that showed $8,000 went away, but it was added into the general corporate library purposes. Because as we told you many, many times, that was never ever a tax increase. It was a levy against our general appropriation. And when we rescinded the ordinance based on your petition that said you didn't want us to spend that money on building and maintenance, we then moved that revenue over into the general corporate fund, which can now be spent wherever we need it. So I just want that to be clear. If anybody was looking back at the original draft of this ordinance from July, it won't match because those two numbers are different.
Could you address why we have item 13 for dumpsters and item 22 for dumpsters?
Can't hear it open here.
Item 13 for dumpsters.
Item 13 and 22 are two separate line items for dumpsters.
Oh, look at that. Is one at the museum and one us? Oh. All right,
Would one of those be for the restaurant?
no, it wouldn't be.
Okay.
There was a time when the library paid for that dumpster. It could be a carryover from that. It no longer does. And I believe I've already given you the information to show that.
No, you
And
haven't.
just so you know, this is not,
Because if
this,
you pay for it with the restaurant, the library is still paying for it. We keep trying to separate the two. It's one entity, and the library is part of the restaurant part of the library.
Yes, but the restaurant is not paid for out of this tax levy.
right.
So this is only appropriation from that.
Right.
So which one will be removed, 1,200 or the 14?
14, I think.
Because we only pay $67, $69 a month.
Well, and I think the other thing to say about this ordinance is that this ordinance is a guideline. This is a kind of a maximum of what we can spend by ordinance. We never, ever, ever spend this amount of money. We're much more conservative than that. So there's no there's no change really necessary other than we're not going to spend that money because we're never obligated to spend what's in this ordinance. Just not supposed to go over.
Would that be an admission that you're representing a budget that's way more than you're going to spend? Why would you present a budget with numbers that you know aren't true? Call it.
Money, you're telling the public that this money is all you're gonna spend at the max. With the appropriate.
To have one if it doesn't include tax money. This is strictly for the tax revenue that we receive.
You're saying you don't have to have a budget unless you don't have tax money?
We don't,
Is that what you just said?
we have a budget for it, but it's not a part of this because this money is not used to pay the expenses in the restaurant.
The Palms Grill operates on the revenue generated from the sale of food, and just like every other restaurant.
Yes.
But this is the first I've heard of a board that representing the Palms Grill reports to you. Could I ask who's on it?
Oh, no, it's a board committee. We talked about,
We voted, well, the board assignments, and we
Yeah, board
voted on it at
assignments.
the last meeting.
sorry, committee is probably the wrong word. I need to stop using that word.
So what is it?
It's an assignment, sorry. There are, board members are assigned to different aspects of library operation. And we're getting off the budget, sorry.
This
I'm just
this
trying to
hearing
answer
is
your
strictly
question.
for information on this appropriations for the tax levy revenue that we receive. It's not on the grill, so we're not going to take any more questions at this time about the grill.
But you keep on talking about the grills.
I didn't bring it up.
All of you guys, all of you guys have brought, not all of them, the most people that I'm talking have brought up in some way, shape, or form that the restaurant has to do with this. And now you guys keep backpedaling and one person speaks on behalf of the other person. Don't look at me like that because you just said I just need to quit using the word committee. So if you guys are going to bring it up, but you guys won't continue to talk about it, I feel like that's a problem that you need to discuss.
It's being brought up because we're being asked questions
All
about it.
right,
Okay.
I can appreciate the focus on tax. So this is strictly related to the tax money coming in for your budget, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Is a gift and donations a tax? That's on page 3.
No, but it is part of our
Money that comes in,
money
right?
that comes in.
Do you have money that comes in from your grill?
Yes,
Thank you. Why is it not on here?
because it does not go into this budget.
You just acknowledged you received money from the grill. That's just no different than a gift or a donation or revenue from another source. All goes into your appropriations because appropriations has to be tied to revenue that came in.
So the gifts and donations, what it's saying is not tax money.
So why is it on
in
there?
here if you don't feel that this is one for tax money? So what's the answer? You're either only going to include tax money.
Oh, wait, oh,
or you're going to
hang
include
on.
all of them.
I'm sorry, can you direct me to gifts and donations, what
Yeah,
line that
It
is?
was on page
It's under
3.
appropriated for the foregoing expenses,
Oh,
section 2.
Estimate of revenues by source, and the revenues are listed.
But those are donations that are given to the library or the museum. There is nothing in this budget ordinance that has anything to do with the operations of the grill. Now, I understand that the grill is under the auspices of the museum. It is part of the museum. However, it operates as a revenue-based entity, and all of the expenses are paid out of the revenue generated from the sale of food. Therefore, y'all have been yelling about it for 2 months now that we're intermingling Palms Grill money with the library, and you want to make sure that no tax dollars are spent on the Palms Grill. What we're doing is separating it, putting it in a different account, making it a report on it at every meeting so that you can see the income and the expenses from the grill so that they're not commingled with the library and the museum that are supported by tax dollars. We think we're being responsible in that regard.
And I appreciate that. Mr. President, my comment was directed to you.
I understand, and I'll tell you what I will do. I will check into this and see what the necessary changes need to be made, and see, if any,
Right.
and see that they are so noted at our next meeting.
Right, because
Does that satisfy?
Yeah, but I want to make sure we're clear on the record. You had said this is about tax money only, but it yet represents other than tax money coming in.
I will check into that, and we will make those necessary changes at the next meeting if need to be done.
Thank you.
Okay?
You're gonna make those changes before you approve it?
Pardon?
You're gonna make those changes before you approve the budget?
Now, we're going to approve this tonight.
So you're gonna change it, you know, within a month of approval?
Well, we may have to change it next month.
10, 15 minutes ago, you said it's only for tax money. And I want to pile on what he talked about with gifts and donations. You got rental income, income of interest, community event income. So it's obviously more than just tax. And it seems to me that you're excluding a part of the library as a whole.
Okay.
Because maybe you don't know what you're going to do with that revenue.
No, I think, all right, maybe it can be explained more clearly this way, is that this ordinance is about the tax-supported institution of the library and museum. So that the revenue that is in the budget and appropriation ordinance is revenue related to the operation of the tax-supported entity. So it is about the tax revenue we get, and it is about contributions and grants and money that we receive specifically for the operation of the tax-supported entity. Those things are related. What isn't included is earned income that, with the exception of what we might get from the occasional $25 rental of the library or the rental of this room, but they're funds that are used to operate the tax-supported organization, not the
And the restaurant is
Restaurant.
not a tax-supported operation.
It's not.
no.
So all that furniture you put down there with tax money or whatever, grant money to the library is not tax supported. And the
I'm sorry, what?
restaurant's paying real estate taxes because it's not tax supported. Is that what you're saying? It all ties
No, we're
together.
not. It's under the auspices of the museum.
So it's
We're
tax
not-
supported.
No. The daily operation of
It
that
is tax supported.
restaurant is not tax supported.
So point to the statute and point to part of the Illinois Library Code that shows where you can operate a restaurant that is not part of the library. It's a tax supported library. You will not find it in
Yes,
there.
you will.
Yes,
As a
you
matter of
will.
fact, find it.
I don't have my handbook. So
Yeah,
I don't
please.
have
With
show
me,
me.
but there are many museums that operate gift shops, snack bars, et cetera, and that has been ruled by the IRS as a legitimate activity of a museum, not subject to unrelated business income tax or anything else. It is a legitimate
And
operation
you're
of a
talking about
museum.
real estate taxes and things like that.
Isn't that what you asked
If you
about?
talk about the IRS,
Isn't that what you asked
What
about?
did you ask them?
no, I'm talking about it's tax supported because the library owns that restaurant. It owns
But
the
we put
restaurant
no
operation.
tax money toward the restaurant. What
So-
about this is so difficult to understand?
So the green paint that was used, that perfectly matches downstairs and up here, wasn't used, that wasn't tax money?
That's the building that we own, not the restaurant.
You own a building?
Yes,
What building?
That restaurant building, they own that.
The Downey
Okay.
building.
the Downey building.
Okay, when you come up into this museum, and there are numerous places the paint matches,
Yeah, we own that building
We
also.
own the building, upstairs and downstairs.
so there's been no tax expenditures whatsoever during any of these remodels and construction that found its way in that building and downstairs.
We never said that.
Like all the furniture.
Building and maintenance.
Like all the
If
furniture.
the door breaks to the building that we own, we have to fix it, yes.
What about the furniture?
What?
The tables and chairs, machines,
That was,
some generous person.
That was purchased years
those
ago.
were grant.
A grant go to the library,
Yes.
and once the library receives it, it's taxed, it's public money.
And I,
Gave it to the restaurant.
Okay, we're done.
We're good.
All right, this is ridiculous.
are you asking,
I'm just trying to figure out why it's so hard for you
names on the list to be asking questions. We'll take a 4-minute break before we start.
I think there is other people that want to ask questions.
I have no other names.
Not about the budget.
Oh. Well, when did they ask?
When we start the regular board meeting, we will entertain the questions from the public,
Comments.
or public comments.
So are you recessing or adjourning?
We're recessed.
Well, we're
Or
adjourning,
adjourning.
we're adjourning the hearing.
Need a motion to adjourn.
So what is it?
They're adjourning.
Anyone going to adjourn?
Have a motion by Steve, a second by Lori to adjourn until 7 p.m. Call for the roll.
We donated a copy of our.
Randy,
Yes.
Lori. Yes. Steve,
Yes.
Karen, yes.
Motion passed?
Yes, motion passed. Sorry.